Hey Internet friends, Trevor Starkey here with a quick Movie Monday for you today, talking about the movie Game Night, which I went and saw Friday. Very funny movie that also left me very stressed for a lot of it, so I feel like I had a hard time fully enjoying the humor. And the reason for that, if you are unfamiliar, Game Night is about kind of a group of friends who are having their normal weekly game night event, and they get thrown into a game night that's going to have a murder mystery element. And so the plan is somebody in their party is going to get kidnapped, and they have to solve clues to kind of find the kidnapped victim. But real life gets thrown in the mix, and they don't necessarily realize it at first, and so they end up kind of having to go after real robbers, muggers, kidnappers kind of stuff, and so it gets guns get thrown into the mix, and of course, guns being thrown in the mix means somebody's going to get shot at some point. And so, I was, as somebody who doesn't like stress-filled movies or anxiety-inducing movies, like horror movies or even thrillers, really all that much. The tension was always ratcheted up really for me, because a gun introduced, so of course somebody's going to get shot. And so it was a hard time for me to fully enjoy all the jokes kind of being thrown out there as a result. It was very, very funny, but it wasn't funny without a cost for me personally. And I recognize that I'm probably not the target audience for this one, but I still had a good time with it overall. Some great performances. Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams are kind of the central couple here. They're also going through tropey kind of they're stressed about trying to start a family, and do they really want to start a family? Does he really want to, or is he trying to make up for something or something like that? And so that's kind of in the background, and they work through that on this adventure that they end up going on. Kyle Chandler plays Jason Bateman's more successful brother, and he's the one who kind of kicks off this game night. If you've seen the trailers, he's the one that gets kidnapped, and maybe there's more afoot than initially kind of you're led to believe. Don't want to get into spoilers and kind of ruin some reveals, but some really solid performances, some fun little cameos here and there throughout the movie that are kind of a little bit set up and then paid off unexpectedly. I had a really good time kind of enjoying some of that stuff. Jesse Plemons plays kind of a very socially awkward neighbor who's basically he used to be part of game night, but he no longer is because he was just too weird, and they've kind of exiled him, but he's still out there and very kind of awkwardly confronts them when it looks like they're having a game night. And he's like, so you're not having a game night? You're not inviting me or anything like that? And very, very dry, but also just he really milks the awkward stares and deadpan delivery in so many of his moments. He definitely, I think, ends up kind of stealing the show in a lot of ways. Yeah, it was a fun movie. I had a great time. What most surprised me was how good this movie looks. Especially a lot of the establishing shots are They remind me of dioramas. You zoom in on a neighborhood kind of scene, and coming in until kind of the last little bit of the establishing shot, it looks like you're looking at a zoomed in little model of this little neighborhood, this little pitch perfect neighborhood, and so, it just I don't know how to explain it well, but it looks just like a little model home that you are kind of coming into the scene, and there are a lot of establishing shots like that. that really work. The music really works. It's got like a great bass line that kind of like thumps and keeps the action moving along. And yeah, it was just a surprisingly funny movie that I was a little stressed out about because I didn't quite know going into it what to expect. But you know, the violence and tension is there. It is like they definitely play a lot of times with jump scares to kind of play in the tropes of like the murder mystery theme. It is a little bit like kind of a Clue for the modern age, I guess. It not as like dry and witty sensibility, but like you switch that out with like some a little bit of like gross out humor and stuff like that. Over the top kind of jokes. That's a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend it if you are in the mood for a good comedy and don't mind a little bit of like horror thriller vibes thrown in there for a mix. It's definitely more on the comedy side of things, but if you are as averse to horror thriller as I am, just be forewarned that that's certainly an element of it going in. So those are my thoughts on Game Night. Let me know what you thought about the movie in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Trevor Starkey from TrevorTrove.com. You can follow me at SnarkyStarkey on Twitter. And until next time, from here at the Trove, treasure your friends.